Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff. I want to take this moment to thank everyone for supporting me in my efforts to raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into your higher self. Thank you very much in my efforts right here on Serious Minds RNTV and Arm the Masses. All power to all the people. Thank you very much. If you would like to continue supporting, and if you are a new listener, please support by giving your donations right here on my Cash App, $ Professor Griff, and or go to www.professorgriff.me. Thank you very much. Peace. All power, all the people. Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and this is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting the cells and increasing the neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. You can order the Serious Minds Brain Tonic right here on www.debbietrywellness.com and or text me 678-557-2919. Peace. Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and this is all right. Peace. Greetings, family. Greetings to everyone. Hopefully, you are able to hear me. Working with some technical difficulties here, but I didn't do a mic check. I didn't do a camera check. I didn't do. Yeah, I should have did all of that. I know. All right. So, it seemed like the mic is fine. How about the camera? Is the camera fine? Let's see if the camera is fine. Hold on. Camera might not be fine. Let's see what camera am I actually using here. All right. That's the camera. Why it's not showing up, I don't know. But I'm used to being around cords and wires and all that kind of stuff for at least a small portion of my life. All right. All right, looks like we might have to rock with this camera for today, fam. I don't know. I'm trying to switch to the other camera, but it's not cameraing. All right. Just do a basic check, go through and cut out and see what the problem really is. Then you can kind of figure it out like that. It's better. I like that, my friend. You mess around. I better stop playing around like that. I show up at the damn door. Cool. Anyway, meantime, between time, this is Professor Griffin. Of course, this is the Masses right here on Black Power Media Reloaded. And I am going to get this right if it takes me all day on day. All right. Anyway, let's dive into this. Now that I got the sound right in the camera, right? Cell phone is out of whack, and I don't know what else is going on. I think I need to do that, and then that. All right. Why these glasses look so big, man? Damn, looking like I got on my big brother's clothes. Anyway, family, peace. How y'all feel? All right, this is Professor Griffin. This is Black Power Media Reloaded. Shout out to everyone that's joining me this afternoon, this early afternoon. Shout out to Gary's Garage. All right. Gary's in his garage making it happen. And Mrs. Moore, thank you very much for joining me. Everyone that's incognito, hiding behind the scenes, don't want to show your face, don't want to come on. That's a beautiful thing. I hear you. But nonetheless, thank you all for showing up. Thanks. Shout out to everyone on IG. All right. DJ Dial Tone. What's happening, man? All right. Shout out to everyone. We got a very interesting kind of conversation we want to have. What's up to the Almighty God? All right. I don't know if the Almighty God is going to hear me, but shout out to the God, the Great Oracle Dialects. All right. Anyway, today's subject, we're going to be talking about energy harvesting. Energy harvesting. All right. So I'm going to attempt to pull up this clip that I was saving, wanting to show. I'm not sure. But it led me down a rabbit hole in which I could probably let you hear, not necessarily see what I was listening to, but I want you to see the trailer of a film that was out maybe 4 or 5 years ago called Life Cell, which can probably give you help lay a base as to what I want to talk about today. Or should I do it the other way around? Let me do it the other way around. Let me play the clip, the audio of the clip that I want you to hear, and then we can kind of go from there. All right. All right, let me see. Let me pull that back. All right. Let me just put that on the screen. And let me play this.
They chose the memorial today on purpose. You hear me? On purpose. Do not let anybody tell you it was a coincidence that almost 80,000 people packed the stadium on the exact day of a solar eclipse, a new moon, and Saturn at opposition. That's not random. That's staging. That's choreography. And it wasn't for you. It was for them. And here is the ugly truth. Crowds are batteries. When tens of thousands cry, chant, and sway together, you create a current. Science calls it collective effervescence. Spirit folks call it energy harvesting. I call it what I see it, stealing your grief and cashing it in. And this playbook isn't new. The Romans did it in the Colosseum, blood and bread to distract the people while the empire pulled strings behind the curtain. Televangelists do it every single Sunday, whipping a congregation into tears, then passing the plate at the peak. Even Hollywood showed you the metaphor in The Matrix. Humans strapped in as living batteries, feeding a machine that doesn't give a damn about them. Fiction, sure, but it makes the point plain. Your energy can be drained and redirected. That's exactly what happened today. A memorial dressed up as a spectacle, tears turned into chants, destiny slipped into the mic right as the eclipse hit. While you were raw from loss, they funneled that energy straight into their machine. Donations, pledges, loyalty. The eclipse, that was the amplifier. Tie a man's death to the heavens, and suddenly it's not just a loss, it's prophecy. Control. They harvested 80,000 beaten hearts today and called it a memorial. So don't get played. Don't call it holy when it was a hustle. They chose that day on purpose. They chose that stadium on purpose. They used that eclipse on purpose. And unless you start naming it, they'll keep doing it. They chose the memorial today on purpose. You hear me? On purpose. Do not let anybody tell you it was a coincidence. On purpose. They chose
the date, the time, the place, the setting, the stage, the psychological operations was all designed. So let me say allegedly was all designed. All right. I've been dropping hints. All right. I've been putting it out there that this thing was a psychological operation. All right. So some people call these people energy vampires. All right. But when you start talking about energy harvesting, it is very, 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 very real. Right now, do yourself a favor. Go to Google, go to wherever you search for information. Put in energy harvesting, harvesting your energy. All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to click back off of here. And I'm going to go to the clip of the movie that was out some time ago. The movie was called Life Cell. Please pay attention. All right. Okay.
Everything seems to be running at optimum level. Looks like you recharge regularly.
Never go below 35%.
Then you're always blue.
Always.
Good.
Notice the code of
Regular
language.
charge is important to a healthy life. Keep up your routine, and I would not be surprised if you live well into your 18th decade.
Are we able to self-charge?
Where did you get an idea like that?
I heard rumors that our bodies are able to function without the life cell.
The world runs on power. Everything needs a power source, even humans. You see what happens to those who can't charge themselves. Their bodies are processed every day.
That's what I thought.
Now, I'm not sure if you caught any of the coded language, but the name of the movie,
Looks like you
Life
recharged.
Cell. All right, Life Cell, one word. Check the movie out. It's deeper than what you could ever imagine on the surface. All right. So let me just say this. And I'm not trying to sound all super deep and spiritual and psychic and conspiratorial and all that kind of stuff. When you're watching a film like this, just try it one time. No jewelry on, especially on your left wrist. Take that Apple Watch off. Anything that can interfere with the processes of you gathering and downloading information, all right, that could be intercepting a frequency or a vibration that's coming in. All right. Just sit, watch the movie, take the jewelry off. All right. Especially your left wrist, especially from around your neck. Please, definitely not on your head. These headsets that we wear, iPads, iPods, ear gadgets, and giving you eargasms and all this kind of stuff. Take all of that off. All right. Take all of that off. We're talking about energy harvesting. All right. I'm going to stop the screen share. I'm going to pull an article up. Let me see. All right. It's very difficult to read. Let me see if I can kind of bring the levels up. All right. Energy harvesting. Can everyone see that? All right, that's cool. There are two ways to gain power from within: through a personal connection to source, the creator, the thing that activates and keep your chi in sync, in tune, and in line, all right, with the God or the goddess self, all right, or stolen from others. Two ways to get it: pulling it from within, from source, not from without. I said from within, not looking in the sweet by and by after you die, trying to pull it from someplace. No, we're pulling it from within, and or from stolen from others. My book, Levels of Energy, defines the lowest levels of consciousness as an energetic, depleted state. Now, energetic, completed state. All right. Levels of energy defines the lowest levels of consciousness, the lowest level of consciousness as an energy depleted state. When you're at your lowest, when you're vulnerable, when you open, you at your peak and you're giving up the ghost, so to speak. This is when these people come along and they set the rituals in motion to pull your energy out of you. All right. Energy depleted state. When you're in this energy depleted state, a being is disconnected from source with little energy of their own. At level 0, you either die unless you get outside help. All right. Spiritual mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, I call it. All right. Getting life breathed back into you. All right. Or you descend into the next lower density of reality. Some being a parasite of energy off of others, being parasitical, pulling energy off of others to invade and erode you down to your lowest denominator, your lowest core. And when they bring you down to that state, the biggest problem in the world today with this energy harvesting, at its basic level, it involves the attention, all right, donation harvesting through staged conflicts. It has to be staged conflicts, news media, drama, outrage, politics. All right. Staged events, staged drama. And all of the unanswered questions surrounding this demon, all right, is enough to cause confusion among black and white, male and female, family members, Democratic Party, Republican Party, all right, infighting, trying to figure out whether or not if we should stay godly and holy and take the higher road or curse our open enemy who cursed us. You're trying to figure this out right now. You are confused. You want to take a stand, but you don't want to get your channel, a strike on your channel. You don't want to tell the truth because the truth might hurt some friends of yours. It might even break up and split up marriages. All right. I've heard some ridiculous stuff over the last few days talking about Captain Kirk died for our sins. Wow. Captain Kirk died for our sins. That's a hell of a statement there. And then comparing this demon to Dr. Martin Luther King. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. So in order to pull off this energy harvesting, it must bring people at its most vulnerable state, bringing you down to your lowest base state. Then at the point where you're screaming and crying out in a frenzy, losing yourself, and you don't even really know why. In this confused state that you're in, simply you trying to understand and trying to figure out why are other people losing their damn minds. Most of us are sitting back saying, well, wait a minute. Is this that damn serious? I didn't even know who dude was. So for 80,000 people to show up at a stadium, the stage is set. The density of reality is set. The levels of energy is set. They have people exactly where they want the people in a confused spiritual mind state. Or you could say it backwards because the English language is like that. In a mind state, on a spiritual level, that's just confused, not knowing whether it's coming or going. All right. Being vulnerable, not sure what happened, wanting to use black people as the scapegoat, but when the black person didn't show up in the script, it left them like, wow, now we have to kind of look in the mirror and blame ourselves. We could not have possibly done this. This is not who we are. No, this is exactly who you are. But guess what? Someone is controlling all of this from behind the scenes and harvesting the energy. Everyone that decided to participate in the thought process of trying to figure out exactly what is this that I'm looking at. You say, well, what are you talking about, Professor Griff? I'm lost. You mean to tell me if I say something right now that's all the way to the left or all the way to the right, they will ban, shadow ban, cancel me, strike the channel, and do everything they'll do to shut down, have me take down posts and take the show down and the whole bit when they're trying to hide something, when they don't want the masses of the people to find out. But yet they've passed this unaliving of this individual. They passed that around and let that fly for hours so everyone can see it. because they wanted to bring you to your lowest state. They wanted you fussing, fighting, and arguing. Do you see how black people were crashing out? Literally. I saw a whole church full of people praising Captain Kirk and Slump and Trump and some other people. I'm like, wow, is this like really, really happening? Then I had to get a grip. I had to say, hold on, let me press the spiritual reset button, man. Hold on. Then I seen some big buff burly dude on TV last night, like talking about they don't know what they set in motion by doing what they did to Captain Kirk. Well, what did they set in motion? Obviously, you have absolutely nothing to do with it because you're playing right into the hands of the people, the hands and the plan of the people that's actually doing this. All right? And by now, you should already know who it is. There's about 800 questions that we could ask right now that you have absolutely no answers for. The last thing I heard, which was so utterly ridiculous. Hold on, let me stop sharing this. Hold on. The last thing I heard, which was so utterly ridiculous, was the fact that the 30-yard six that was used to take this person down, the round, without inflaming anyone or people thinking that I'm for either side or I'm celebrating or no, I'm not celebrating anyone's demise, death, or whatever. I'm taking a high road. I'm following Captain Kirk. I just have no empathy. I'm not crying crocodile tears over. You're not going to get me in that debate. Either we're going to lay out the facts or we're not going to lay out the facts. I'm talking about energy harvesting today. Maybe you thinking I'm coming on here to talk about something else. But what did they do to harvest your energy to get you in these debates, arguing with people on and offline about this particular situation? When a few weeks ago, you didn't even know who this individual was. I knew who the individual was. I heard all the nasty, crazy, outlandish things that this individual was talking about. All right, so here we are. At this particular point, you now being involved in it, all right, everything is moved by the energy. How many of y'all still wake up without an alarm clock? How many of y'all, your body just wakes you up and you just kind of, yeah, you're still there? How many of you kind of listen to your body, yourself, your inner chi, your inner thoughts, your inner self, and you say, okay, I need to replenish. I'm listening to my body. I'm coming out of my head into my body and I'm listening. Okay, I need fruit today. Oh, I need that kind of fruit. Okay, trying to heal something. Got it. And you're in tune and you're in sync. But now when certain events happen, and then now you're not in control, what happens at that particular point? An incident or a conflict brings you down to your lowest state, and that particular state. Okay, we didn't even begin to talk about what happened from the lunar eclipse to the solar eclipse, and then what happened with the new moon, and then the energy harvesting. All of this had taken place within a few weeks. And then to do the math and do the numbers centered around the number 33, which I'm seeing a lot of people talking about. All right. Al Malik, peace. What's good with you, bro? Peace to the God. So for you to get dragged in, like Al Malik just said, yeah, I never heard of him. But after his demise, I seen some of the videos and I just said he expresses the same sentiment of most white Americans. And if that's the case, Al Malik, then what I'm saying today on this broadcast is absolutely true, because what they did now, and you're a witness of it, and you're bearing witness of it by what you wrote. You didn't even know who this person was a couple of weeks ago. Now they dragged you in it. Now they got your attention. See, energy harvesting. They're harvesting your energy. Someone said, could you say the same for yourself? I am on a broadcast right now talking about it. So yes. Am I going willingly? Absolutely not. Am I grounding myself? Am I staying focused? Am I blocking myself with the black tourmaline, blocking these people's psychic powers that they have, and this energy that they throw your way? Yeah, I'm taking every safety precaution. Yes. I'm not paying attention to the distractions. I'm staying focused. All right. It took me a minute to unravel what was happening. But yeah, the more and more I see, the more and more information that come out, the more and more I connect the dots. I said, oh, it's coming clear to me now. I got you. I got you. I understand it now. I see what they're doing. They don't care what you have to say. They don't care how many daggone Captain Kirk clips that you put up about him talking negatively about black people. They don't care nothing about that. They want that energy too. All right. They want to see the black preacher standing up in the pulpit firing back. All right. They want to see the high brand revolutionaries firing back. All right. They want the confusion. They want you arguing. All right. They want it all happening at the same time while they control the puppets. All right. That are on the strings that they pull. This is what they want. And then now we're about to lay this person to rest so he can end up and see Cash Patel at Valhalla. That's what Cash Patel said, not Professor Griff. He said he will see him in Valhalla. And we already went over that the last show. What is Valhalla? Go look it up. All right. We would never say the things that this man has said about black people, especially about black women, because we could step up and show and prove how these women were borderline brilliant. And if anybody want to debate me on that, I don't even debate, but put up your money. Anything that he said about black people. Like I said, I don't even debate, but I'll step up to the plate. Put up your money. So like I said, but what they want to do, they want to be able to use your energy, especially the energy that you use to fight one another. And don't think that they're not manipulating and controlling it via social media online. They're the ones with no face profile, or you might see something crazy or whatever. They're the ones manipulating and controlling these things behind the scenes. Turning Point had 600 employees at the tune of $90-something million a year. So when someone asks you a question, let me give you a technique to use with some of these imps that you might find online. All right. Let me give you hold on. So when someone says something crazy, black people said this, that, and the other about black people. What black people are you talking about? Which black people? The ones that paid off and bought? The ones that are brain dead? Are you talking about those that are from the 10% element of our people? Every skin folk ain't kinfolk. I'm sure you've learned that lesson already. You understand what I'm saying? You can't count every black person in the ranks that's for us. There's 10% of them that's not. And we're weeding them out. And we know who some of them people are. But the fake trolls that pretend to be black online, you got to be careful of them, because this is where they're waging the war. Keep in mind, it's a psychological war that's going on. All right? So a minute ago, I'm going to reiterate this. A minute ago, you didn't even know who this person was. And all of a sudden now, this guy is from wherever he is down below, he's affecting your life. They're extracting your energy. You're losing friendship. No. If you just pull 2 layers back, you can see this whole thing on how it's played out. And to be honest with you, they're doing a real sloppy job at it. This is not even a sophisticated setup, cover up, staged event. All right, let me play the clip for you again. All right, then we'll go from there. All right.
Said almost 80,000 people packed the stadium on the exact day of a solar eclipse, a new moon, on purpose. They chose the memorial today on purpose. You hear me? On purpose. Do not let anybody tell you it was a coincidence that almost 80,000 people packed the stadium on the exact day of a solar eclipse, a new moon, and Saturn at opposition. That's not random. That's staging. That's choreography. And it wasn't for you. It was for them. And here is the ugly truth. Crowds are batteries. When tens of thousands cry, chant, and sway together, you create a current. Science calls it collective effervescence. Spirit folks call it energy harvesting. I call it what I see it, stealing your grief and cashing it in. And this playbook isn't new. The Romans did it in the Colosseum, blood and bread to distract the people while the empire pulled strings behind the curtain. Televangelists do it every single Sunday, whipping a congregation into tears, then passing the plate at the peak. Even Hollywood showed you the metaphor in The Matrix. Humans strapped in as living batteries, feeding a machine that doesn't give a damn about them. Fiction? Sure, but it makes the point plain. Your energy can be drained and redirected. That's exactly what happened today. A memorial dressed up as a spectacle, tears turned into chants, destiny slipped into the mic right as the eclipse hit. While you were raw from loss, they funneled that energy straight into their machine. Donations, pledges, loyalty. The eclipse, that was the amplifier. Tie a man's death to the heavens, and suddenly it's not just a loss, it's prophecy. Control. They harvested 80,000 beaten hearts today on purpose. They chose the memorial today on purpose. You hear me? On purpose. Do not let anybody tell you it was a coincidence that almost 80,000 people packed the stadium on the exact day of a solar eclipse, a new moon, and Saturn at opposition. That's not random. That's staging. That's choreography. And it wasn't for you. It was for them. And here is the ugly truth. Crowds are batteries. When tens of thousands cry, chant, and sway together, you create a current. Science calls it collective effervescence. Spirit folks call it energy harvesting. I call it what I see it, stealing your grief and cashing it in. And this playbook isn't new. The Romans did it in the Colosseum, blood and bread to distract the people while the empire pulled strings behind the curtain. Televangelists do it every single Sunday, whipping a congregation into tears, then passing the plate at the peak. Even Hollywood showed you the metaphor in The Matrix. Humans strapped in as living batteries, feeding a machine that doesn't give a damn about them. Fiction? Sure, but it makes the point plain. Your energy can be drained and redirected. That's exactly what happened today. A memorial dressed up as a spectacle, tears turned into chants, destiny slipped into the mic right as the eclipse hit. While you were raw from loss, they Funnel that energy straight into their machine. Donations, pledges, loyalty. The eclipse, that was the amplifier. Tie a man's death to the heavens, and suddenly it's not just a loss, it's prophecy. Control. They harvested 80,000 beaten hearts today and called it a memorial. So don't get played. Don't call it holy when it was a hustle. They chose that day on purpose. They chose that stadium on purpose. They used that eclipse on purpose. And unless you start naming it, they'll keep doing it. They chose the memorial today on purpose. You hear me?
Okay. This is what I played at the top of the hour. All right. So if you take a step back, view it through this lens, and then maybe you'll get a deeper understanding of what this thing is really about. All right. I've seen one black woman crashed all the way out. I mean, in tears, calling the man's name. Then I seen the black people in church just went all the way to the left. I've heard the threats, the death threats, all the other kind of stuff. I've seen people get into arguments, and then towards the end of the argument, they say, "Well, so who is he? What did he say?" And I'm like, "Well, if you didn't know it, then what are you arguing about?" Yeah, energy harvesting. Let me point out a few things. 80,000 people. It said, Captain Kirk's Memorial, the solar eclipse, new moon, and energy harvesting. You can look that up. That's where you can find it. All right. If you can't find it, you'll know my phone number, 678-557-2919. Text me. Yeah. Text me. And while we're here, if you want to donate to the channel to help it grow, matter of fact, not only to help it grow, to help it get past some of these algorithms that, they locking factual information down. All right. The information is at the bottom of the screen. PayPal, Cash App, Captain Crunch, coupons, food stamps, whatever you have, just hit me up, 678-557-2919. 678-557-2919. All right. See, you just proved my point, whoever you are. You just proved my point. You said, I'm tired. I'm tired is tired. No energy to give. That's exactly the state that they want you in right there. Whatever energy is left, they're taking it. Energy harvesting. Right? That's the state that they want you in. That's what I just read. That's where they want you. All right. Now, when were you so invested into this man's ideology or his philosophy? All right. So where were you, and why you have no energy left? If you've invested anything into this situation, like I told you, you're right, they're energy vampires. You pull one layer back, you'll start to see that this is a sloppy job that they're doing. You're going to sit here and believe that somebody with no experience, all right, took the kind of blicky that he had and pulled that off from 200 yards away with no experience? Come on, man. Anyway, Captain Kirk Memorial, the solar eclipse, new moon, and energy harvesting. September is a stargazer's dream come true. This month has it all: an equinox, a solar eclipse, and a lunar eclipse. Brilliant Saturn, Venus hidden behind the moon, and even more. It'll take us 5 hours and a whole panel discussion to break down this whole entire thing. We have the information. We want to be able to give it to you, but if you're so depleted and you have no energy left, then why would we waste our time trying to educate you to raise your vibratory pitch into the mind of God to get you to understand what this thing is really about. When you openly saying you don't have no energy left, you don't have no energy left because they've harvested all. I talked to a few people. They're like, yeah, I couldn't even turn on and watch that. Watch it for what? It ain't like it's the Super Bowl. It ain't like it's the fight that came on the other night. Tune into that madness for what? You see, on a subconscious level, they make you feel guilty for you not tuning in. All right, to send your open enemy off in his home going ceremony. We don't have no empathy for that. So I'm supposed to openly cry and shed a tear and for my enemy, for someone that wanted to see me 6 feet under. There's someone that wanted to see me back in slavery. That's someone, you out your rabbit ass mind. I gotta stand up and throw some punches or something. Hell, absolutely not, man. Yeah, you may say I'm a lot of things and I'm built a certain kind of way. Yeah, I'm not built for that. I don't know who's doing that. Oh, the red hat wearing people are doing that. Oh, okay. Somebody said the red hat people are doing that and the Negropeans are doing that. Okay, well, let the Negropeans do what they're going to do. All right. Energy harvesting. Hold on. A bidirectional and low frequency energy harvester for collecting human crowd energy in not only shopping malls, stadiums, football games, basketball games, any place where there's a large group of people. All right. Just like even in church, the energy is whipped up and you see grandmama throwing her hands in the air, waving. All right. Same thing that you see at the football game when the energy is raising and the kicker kicks the winning field goal through the upright white legs at the end of the field. All right. And they throw it up. Yeah. They're raising the energy. Y'all heard me teach on this before. I'm not trying to get super, super deep, but I'm putting it on a level where you can readily understand it. All right. So we can have these conversations in our smaller circles where we know people are going to benefit from it, but to put it out to the masses, no, they consider the masses the asses. All right. So we need to understand that particular dynamic and how they harvest the energy. All right. Okay. So let's stop falling for the madness. All right. Let's stop falling for the madness that they're feeding us. They'll set up two oppositional teams and they'll give you the talking points. Once they give you the talking points, you regurgitate what the talking points that they give you because they're in control of the whole scene. All right. They're in control of the whole scene. So regardless of what position you take, the red side position, the blue side position, they still have you. Whether you're wearing a red hat or the blue hat, the jackass or the elephant, they still have you. But until you pull back, get a bigger picture and say, oh, okay, you're right, Miss Lovely Doll. It's one big, gigantic psychological operation being played on you. And they're sucking your energy dry. Sucking your energy dry. All right. So then you have bots. Then you have trolls. All right. That's on payroll. All right. They've targeted who is going to deliver what kind of information, and they'll send those people your way. all right, to disrupt the program, the live, to do whatever they have to do. All right, then they'll cause some distraction over here. Mind you, for the last 2 weeks, you ain't talked about Epstein for 2 weeks. And then you have some bold Caucasians that are coming on telling you and breaking it down, the weapon, the velocity of the bullet, what kind of bullet, blood spatter, doing the forensics, showing you on the scene how it's contaminated, and they're going through the whole thing, and you still won't believe it. You still went to church yesterday and started fainting in church and hooping and hollering and catching the Holy Ghost. But facts that are put right in front of you, numbers, stats, statistics, and graphs and charts and demonstrations. And I've seen one guy do a demonstration. He had the whole rifle in his pants to show you how it's impossible. I seen another guy showed you it was utterly impossible to break down that weapon in 6 to 7 seconds, stuff it in your bag and in your pants, jump off a building, reassemble it, wrap it in a towel, put it in the box, put it in the woods, stop, call your little lover, send him text messages, tell him everything that you did and everything that you thought. Then, come on. It's a sloppy job. Sloppy job. So I'm saying all of this to say, listen, press the pause button for a second. These people are doing energy harvesting, and you need to know that they're sucking you dry from your ability to even hit the pause button to think. Some of y'all are worried about losing your white friends. Don't worry about that. Let them catch up. If they're your friends, they're going to rock with you anyway. All right? The Illuminati Energy Harvesting, SRA and MK Ultra. If you don't know what MK Ultra is, look it up. MK Ultra. Mind control experiments. All right? Yeah, I'm not going to be on there long. I might as well just go ahead and I'm going to take the I'm going to take the chat link and put it in the chat. The lady gave the example of whipping you up in a frenzy and collecting donations from you every single Sunday. Energy harvesting. They prey on your, not the P-R-A-Y, it's the P-R-E-Y. They're preying on you. And these are the different ways that they do that, manipulating your energy. They gave the example of the church on Sunday. They gave the example of the Matrix. All right? Hold on. Let me play it from here.
Humans strapped in as living batteries, feeding a machine that doesn't give a damn about.
In the scene in the Matrix where they had humans plugged up and using them as human batteries to fuel the system. It is humans that's fueling this thing called AI. Not ancestral intelligence, but the artificial one. All right? Because the art is official. Playing it off as intelligence. Not real intelligence. You're feeding that. All right? So when you start talking about this idea of energy harvesting, all right, no one understands how it works so that you can work against it. So listen to me, Christians. Not the white Christian nationalists. You're gonna hear what y'all want to hear anyway. Christians, they've told you that crystals are demonic. They told you that certain herbs and all the traditional medicines, both spiritual and physical, and medicinal, and spiritual and psychic, all the ones that we use to stay grounded, and all the ones we use to heal, they told you all of this was demonic, while they're the ones losing their minds. Yeah, don't fall for that. All right. We're living examples of this thing every single day. From the time that this was made for me, and it's been sitting between me and my computer, it has actually changed colors because it's absorbing the radiation and the energy coming off of the computer. All right. These are crystals inside of here. But let a Christian tell it, a baby Bible babbler. Let them tell it. All right. I saw one sick, twisted individual on, was it TikTok or Instagram, talking about, are you black first or are you Christian? Way before there was anything called Christian, you were black. We ain't talking about the color crayon, corny, childish 3-year-old conversation that you want to have about black. I'm talking about the essence that set everything in motion, black. I'm talking about the triple darkness, black. I ain't talking about that other madness. So if this is not real enough for you to take at least a little of the information, hit the pause button, and then say to yourself, well, if it's not factual and it's not real, why do they spend billions of dollars to keep you in this poor spiritual and mental state that you're in every single year? See, you have to tune into the football game, the basketball game. You have to watch the fight. You have to do these things because you got to stay tapped in to the system, because now they got you on the hook. You don't want to miss anything. All right. Like I said a few minutes ago, you didn't even know who this individual was. So all of a sudden now you spiritually invested to see whether or not if this guy's going to rise from the dead and walk on water or some shit. Trust me, that is not going to happen. Your open enemy wants you to kind of join them in there. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. No. For those of y'all that are just tuning in, we're talking about energy harvesting. If you're hearing this concept for the first time, just hit the pause button, do some basic research. I'm only going to be on here for a few more minutes. All right, but let me play the clip over for you again. Here we go.
They chose the memorial today on purpose. You hear me? On purpose. Do not let anybody tell you it was a coincidence that almost 80,000 people packed the stadium on the exact day of a solar eclipse, a new moon, and Saturn at opposition. That's not random. That's staging. That's choreography. And it wasn't for you. It was for them. And here is the ugly truth. Crowds are batteries. When tens of thousands cry, chant, and sway together, you create a current. Science calls it collective effervescence. Spirit folks call it energy harvesting. I call it what I see it, stealing your grief and cashing it in. And this playbook isn't new. The Romans did it in the Colosseum, blood and bread to distract the people while the empire pulled strings behind the curtain. Televangelists do it every single Sunday, whipping a congregation into tears, then passing the plate at the peak. Even Hollywood showed you the metaphor in The Matrix. Humans strapped in as living batteries, feeding a machine that doesn't give a damn about them. Fiction, sure, but it makes the point plain. Your energy can be drained and redirected. That's exactly what happened today. A memorial dressed up as a spectacle, tears turned into chants, destiny slipped into the mic right as the eclipse hit. While you were raw from loss, they funneled that energy straight into their machine. Donations, pledges, loyalty. The eclipse, that was the amplifier. Tie a man's death to the heavens, and suddenly it's not just a loss, it's prophecy. Control. They harvested 80,000 80,000 beating hearts today and called it a memorial. So don't get played. Don't call it holy when it was a hustle. They chose that day on purpose. They chose that stadium on purpose. They used that eclipse on purpose. And unless you start naming it, they'll keep doing it. They chose the memorial today on purpose. You hear me? On purpose. Do not let anybody tell you it was a coincidence. On purpose.
All right, take this site down. I think it's on IG.
On purpose.
Go to uncovering underscore hidden underscore truth. Can someone write that in the chat? Uncovering underscore the word hidden underscore truth. All right, on IG. Underscore hidden truth. I mean, pardon me. Uncovering underscore hidden underscore truth. All right. Look into it for yourself. Trust me, it'll take you down the rabbit hole, and it'll thank you very much. Ionic Arc, thank you. Trust me, when you go down the rabbit hole, it's going to make you question some of the things that you thought your grandmama's mama believed. Because how you going to deny what's happening right in front of you unless you're blind? And if you get to that point in that juncture and at that particular crossroad in your research, close your two physical eyes and open up your third eye and proceed from there. All right? Yeah. Open up your all-seeing eye. Not the one that they've taken and turned into the all-seeing eye of Lucifer. No. Someone sent me a message. I think I wore this last month, and it was like, funny, you should talk about X, Y, and Z and the Illuminati and all this kind of stuff, and you wearing demonic symbols. Well, I'm sure by now, most of y'all use Google Lens. Do you? Can y'all? By a show of hands, do you use Google Lens? Does anyone? Nope. Anyone? Nope. You're right, Wale. It's the first eye, not the third eye. All right, so you do. You use Google Lens. Okay. Then what I need you to do is go to Google, hit the lens. All right. Where are we at? See, that's Google Chrome. I'm not sure if y'all can see that, but that's Google Chrome. All right. Hit the lens right in the corner. You'll see the G. It'll say search Google or type URL. You'll see the microphone. Next to the microphone, the last thing icon is the lens. Hit the lens. Take the symbol that you want to research. Put the symbol in the square. Hit the white button. Right? Once you hit the white button, this is what it'll look like. It'll pull up all the information. All right. Once you pull up the information, all the information comes up. Just use Google Lens. Then, after you finish doing that, cross-reference that information with the other information from another site or another source. All right. For the few minutes that we have left, peace. What's good, man? Who's calling in? Talk to me. What's happening? Wale?
Yeah, I had to unmute the mic, man. Thank you.
How you feel?
I appreciate it. Oh, I feel good.
Feel good.
There you go, man. Every day.
All right, what's happening?
Yeah, you hit all of the subject that I was on. You saw I put that about religions, right? Religions is a matter of ancestor worship, ancestor reverence, ancestor energy. Actually, it's ancestor energy. And when you connect with any religion, what you're doing is donating your spiritual, if you want to refer to it like that, energy to that group or that line of ancestry and not your own. That's why a lot of people nowadays say, oh, we the original Jews and stuff, because they already given their energy to the Jewish ancestry. And the Jewish ancestry wants to keep that energy. They don't want to get that up. That's power in their ancestral line, which runs their current genes right now. Their current genes are being ran by their ancestral lines, just like ours are, and everybody else's. You heard the guy on that thing you were talking about, Charlie Clerk. He's talking about we go back to the this and we go back to that, and that's where we pulling our strength from their ancestors. We have to pull our strength from our ancestors. And the only story we've been given about our ancestors is they've been wretched. Our ancestors were wretched. How are you going to pull strength from wretchedness? So in order to keep us away from our own ancestors, they have introduced us to theirs and say, hey, through this adoptive ceremony called Christianity, you know, when they baptize you through that, that's an adoptive ceremony. They adopt you into their genealogy or their ancestral line. And they take, and it's like sticking a thing in your body and taking your blood out. And they ain't giving it to your ancestors. They're giving it to theirs. You're giving it to theirs. They're giving theirs to theirs. Who you think gonna be on top? We have to revert to our own ancestry in order to accumulate that energy that you're talking about I call it a minor scale, because you're talking about particular incidences like church on Sunday or football on Saturday. I'm talking about continuous and great amounts of energy that's constantly being pulled out of our people because of our concept of no ancestry that we send our energy to, that will reinvigorate us. Because the more ancestral, the more energy we send to our own ancestors, that energy will be replaced by our ancestors as our progeny.
Yeah. Okay.
The energy we give to our ancestors is going to come right back to us as our children.
Right. That's why I refer to AI is not artificial, but ancestral intelligence. And I understand exactly what you're saying, but I really appreciate you checking in, calling in. I really appreciate that. All right. Not sure where he went, but thank you very much, good bro.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Indeed. All right. Peace. All right. All right. All right. I gotta get off of here. It is 1:05 in the afternoon, right here on Black Power Media Reloaded with your host, Professor Griff. Shout out to Kalanji. Shout out to everyone that joined me this early afternoon. I hope that you're pulling something from this. All right. I hope this may serve as a reset button so you can kind of look at this thing through a different lens. Hopefully, you can look at this thing through a different lens with this bit of information. If you would like to donate to Black Power Media Reloaded and or Serious Minds RNTV, you can do so. Right at the bottom of your screen is $ Professor Griff. Hit the Cash App, $ Professor Griff, and or PayPal. We have some classes coming up. As a matter of fact, tonight, join me tonight right here. Join me tonight right here. Hold on as I get rid of this. Hold on, family. Let me kind of go to my comments and get rid of this like that. All right, let me do it like this. Writer's Row tonight, where we deal with the literary consciousness. We're highlighting my good brother Brock and Kajara. All right, two beautiful authors right here Monday night at 9 p.m. That is tonight with your host, Professor Griff, right here on Writer's Row. Right here on Writer's Row. All right, join us tonight. And family, what we have to do is we have to kind of get together and be able to support these individuals that are actually scrolls that they're writing and giving us in the form of books. You understand what I'm saying? these scholars are stepping up to the point where they're documenting and not only going back, but being present, looking forward, and giving us this information in the form of books. The least we could do is show up and lend our support. And if they ask for a donation, or if they ask for you to purchase their material, or if they ask you to be present, all right, the least we could do is just show up. All right. All right. So it's right here on Black Power Media Reloaded, and on Serious Mind, and on my channel on YouTube, Professor Griff. All right. All right, family. So if you want to purchase, all right, some of the elixirs, the Serious Minds Brain Tonic, all right, hold on. You could do so by going to the site at the bottom of the screen, www.devitribewellness.com. Hold on for a second. Let me get rid of that. All right. If you want to, of course, as I always say, the Serious Minds Brain Tonic and the Resurrection Formula are on sale now. Go to www.devitribewellness.com. devitribewellness.com. All right.
Okay, I found this on the web for Is My Brain Tonic
No,
and the Resurrection
we're not
Formula
asking
on
you,
sale.
Siri. You all up in somebody's business. We're trying to do a show here. See? Eavesdropping and spying. All right. All right. If you're just tuning in and you're unfamiliar with Soleil's work, she's releasing this beautiful encoded album available right now as we speak. All right. Right now as we speak. All right. Encoded album available right now on your streaming platforms, but you could go right to Bandcamp. All right. Go to Bandcamp and look up Soleil, S-O-L-E. All right. Encoded. All right. Or you can go to I am Soleil, all right, at Gmail. Pardon me. IamSoleil.com. Pardon me. All right. Okay. So thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate that. I have another, matter of fact, hold on. Not Business 101. Not this. I got a songwriting workshop coming up again this Sunday, but hold on for a second, fam. Don't go nowhere. We're not talking about the firearms class right now. None of that. Let me pull up the flyer I want you to see. Let me see. Is it available for me? Nope. Do I have to go find it? Yes. I think I can find it with no problem. All right. I can go to 2025 flyers folder, and we look at all the flyers that are available, and I can pick this one, not that one. I can cancel that one. And hold on. Not yet. Hold on. Hold on. Family, October 4th, I want y'all to join me. I am breaking down and having a discussion and a Q&A session centered around my book, The Birth. All right? The Birth. It's going to be a beautiful discussion, family. Trust me, it is. Let me see. That's the House of Ogun. Yep. Saturday, October 4th, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's a donate-based lecture, so I'm dealing with the birth. All right, the birthing song of the Himba tribe. All right, it's going to be a discussion. It's going to be a Q&A. I'm going to lay some things out. Let's dialogue. Let's see what you could take and put into your spiritual toolbox that you can use. And we're going to bring back the art of storytelling. We're going to have a discussion and a Q&A. All right. Let's pull it in. All right. Here. Let's open it up and let's pull it in. All right. And there we go. All right. All right. The birth. All right. The birthing song of the Himba tribe. It's still an audio book. It's still an ebook. The physical book will probably be out during Kwanzaa. All right. So stay tuned. If you're in the ATL area, October 4th, join me for this dynamic discussion and Q&A. In the meantime, between time, I got to get on out of here, fam. All right. All right, this is Professor Griff. I love y'all to life, but let me say thank you in the correct way. Here we go. Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff. I want to take this moment to thank everyone for supporting me in my efforts to raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into your higher self. Thank you very much in my efforts right here on Serious Minds RNTV and Arm the Masses. All power to all the people. Thank you very much. If you would like to continue supporting, and if you are a new listener, please support by giving your donations right here on my Cash App, $ Professor Griff, and or go to www.professorgriff.me. Thank you very much. Peace. All power, all the people.